got shot.
It was life and death.
Somebody's killed your son.
I think both sides have to come together.
When it comes to African-American men, we only get the mug shot.
You know, it's abnormal.
Was it really worth it?
You gotta be the tough guy.
Tim Jackson presents How to Kill a Black Man, available on Amazon Prime Direct. This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements, bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson. This is the No More OGs podcast. I'm your host. Make sure you take a look at the documentary Tim Jackson Presents How to Kill a Black Man. Y'all saw the preview. Hey, man, it's out there. It's on Amazon Prime Direct. You don't have no excuses. But look, check this out. I know y'all see I'm kind of fly today. Shout out.
Clean as a whistle,
you know what I'm saying?
Sharp.
On this J5, yo to the noobs. Happy Founders Day to the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. But check this out. I am back in my old stomping grounds, Anchorage, Alaska. I haven't been here. It was literally 22 years to the date that I got stationed at this base. I got stationed here on January the 3rd. I returned back on January the 4th to celebrate my brother. Now, if y'all been following me for a long time, y'all know this brother. He was on the first podcast years ago. But I wanted to come in here and chop it over with my brother. Man, he's done some amazing things. He was my very first roommate in the military. He had my only roommate. I didn't stay here that long. We'll talk about that another day. Don't stay out my personal business. But my man is getting ready to retire after a 2-year career.
22 years, yeah.
And you all know how I feel on this podcast. We want to introduce you to people who are doing some dope things within their lives, within their communities, no matter what they're doing, no matter what service it is. You know, too often when you look at people like us, they want to niche us down to entertainment. They want to niche us down to stuff. But man, I always preach how important it is to have a trade. I preach the military. So listen, I'm going to get into this, man, because I'll be introducing this dude for 20 minutes if I have to. This is a brother I've known for 22 plus years, my partner, my road dog, somebody that supported everything I've done, from real youth mentoring to just giving me advice, being there for me, a person that stayed in my home. Y'all know I'm funny about people coming to my house, man. Person that I know his family, man. I know we got the same friends. This is somebody that I've looked up to, man. Somebody that I respect so much in this game. And today he's retiring from the military. And let me tell you what, he got a lot of people to fly to Anchorage, Alaska in January to come see him shine. So I'm going to introduce to some, present to others, my brother, Senior Master Sergeant Charles Ball. What's good with you, my guy?
Man, what's good, man? It's good seeing you. Good having you up in the building. Like you mentioned, we go back 22 years.
Man.
Right? And to have someone that you've been connected to your entire military career come up here and share in this occasion, man, it's just humbling. Right, and I appreciate you doing that.
Hey, man, listen, I always tell people, man, relationships are the fabric of life, man. How you know, people think it's about money. People think it's about everything else. It's about your relationships. Your relationships will get you in and out of trouble, get you in and out of doors that you couldn't get through. It's a person right now that's ready to speak your name, but they got to make sure that your name is good. Right. And, man, relationships have gotten me further than my money has ever got me. So definitely look at you like a brother. Man, enough about me. Let's talk about you, man. Senior Master Sergeant Ball. This is your last day in the office, man. You retiring today, huh?
This is it. This is the last time I'll don this uniform. I'm gonna grow some facial hair. I can't grow much on my head these days, but I will join the beard gang here soon.
You know, it's funny because when I walked in, I said, "Oh shoot, he shaved!" Like you you had a little beard when I saw you at the airport yesterday, and when we went over to the house, man. But man, I want to talk about something, man. I want to talk about just your military career because I always joke around and I say, no one goes to the military when life is going good, right? Typically, when you go to the military, you from a town like yours or mine where the opportunities aren't as great. You want to get out of the hood, you want to get out of the city, you want to do whatever it is to get out of an opportunity. But oftentimes, many of us, and I'll say me, we take that mentality into the military and it just doesn't translate. In fact, the Air Force came out, I think it was 2009, 2010, and talked about how they disproportionately discharged a lot of black and brown airmen. And a lot of it was just a failure to adapt thing because there wasn't enough time put into actually bringing them up the right way, giving them correct counseling, giving them the correct mentorship. But you've navigated these waters not only as an airman, but even as a senior master sergeant in the senior ranks. And you've brought a lot of people along who were just like you, fresh in, bumping their heads, making mistakes. Like, talk about why it's so important to have a senior master sergeant Ball or someone like the chiefs that we had in our lives that can guide a young black, man or woman or any person of color, if you will, through the military to make sure that they're able to sit down and retire like you.
Yeah, man, I think the biggest thing, you kind of mentioned the racial disparity report, and it talked about up in that report how you don't see a lot of people that look like us when up in those senior positions. I think the biggest thing is representation. I've did this stuff for so long because, right, why not me? Right? You have airmen that need someone to look up to because my beginning wasn't easy.
Bruh.
Right? I got my first piece of paperwork in FTech. First term Airman Center.
Hey, let me tell you, let me tell you something. Your boy Jack led the field in paperwork, but go get it.
Yeah, so I got my first piece of paperwork in FTech, and it was a young lady. She wanted to get my attention early on, right? That, hey, that same behavior that you had before the military, it's not going to work in there. But it took several years, right, of people putting me in my place and giving me the guidance that I need to be successful. And it just happened to be people that look like me.
You said something. You said it took several years for people putting you in your place. But I think a lot of people are going to miss the most important part of that is that you were willing to be open to receive the criticism and the feedback. You were willing to make the adjustments, because I remember when I was young Airman Jackson, I knew everything.
Right.
You couldn't tell Airman Jackson shit. I was always the smartest person in the room, and I was most of the time because that's just the way my brain worked. But I didn't understand deference. I didn't understand a pecking order, a chain of command. And in life, specifically nowadays, I think that the generations after us have completely lost that pecking order. I feel I'm worried about what things look like because everybody wants to start, as an 18-year-old, and they want to be a millionaire.
Want to be at the top.
They want to be right at the top.
And that's not how it works, right? I was talking with my niece last week, right? And we was talking about the military and how she don't feel that she can join the military, right? Because it's going to take forever to advance. I was like, baby, even if you get a job in the civilian sector, you're not going straight to the top. Everybody want to be the CEO. But no one wanted to start at the bottom and learn and grow where you can get into the positions that we are today. A lot of times, right, people look at the highlight reels. You got social media, right?
Speak on it.
People are looking at the highlights of people's life, but they don't understand the struggles that those folks went through in order to get to where they are today. Don't judge somebody's highlight reel off of what you think you should have now. It takes time, baby.
They wasn't with you shooting in the gym. I mean, bro, when I tell you, and I talk to people, I do a lot of mentoring, and shout out to Ball, man. Ball has supported me. We actually bought a kid a car, and Ball made the largest contribution to that. I think you paid for the whole damn car, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and look at my books.
Hey, don't be telling everybody I've been buying people cars and stuff.
Stay on my personal business. You said you got people watching.
Yeah, everybody going to want me to buy them a car now.
But no, when I go and talk to kids, even people that's graduating, and one of the reasons why Real Youth Mentoring is transitioning, we have the 10 to 18, but we're going to focus on that 18 to 24 because so many of those young men, for lack of better words, man, they got the game fucked up. They think that they're supposed to win, and I blame us. I blame me and you at our generation because we were the get it out the mud generation. And now our kids, they didn't have to get it out the mud. They didn't have to suffer. They are extremely entitled. And I say our kids because I be trying to work it out my son. And it's like you want them to see a little struggle, but you don't want them to see too much. You want them to be appreciative of what it is, but you want them to be humble. And what I see a lot of times when I go to high schools and talk to kids is like, yeah, man, I want to be a millionaire just like you. I want to be an entrepreneur just like you. And it's just like, bro, you don't know what I had to do to get here. And I had to do nothing shady, but I mean, literally, I wrote an ebook on the flight here.
Yeah.
I hadn't slept in 36 hours. There's times where I don't sleep for a couple of days. Yeah. There's times where I'm sacrificing and people don't see it. It's like that duck over water analogy. When you see a duck going over water, it's real smooth at the top. Yeah. But he kicking his ass off at the bottom. You don't see what's going on at the bottom. And I feel like that we're starting to remove the process, from the progress.
Pain in the process, bro.
Bro.
There's pain in the process, right? Yes, I am a senior master sergeant. Top 2% of the Air Force. But it was a struggle. It was a struggle getting here, right? And a lot of times I had to get out of my own way.
Bro, speak on it.
I had to get out of my own way.
That's your biggest enemy is yourself.
Yeah.
Your biggest enemy is the person
It's
on
the
the other side of the mirror.
mentality.
It's the mentality.
It's the mentality, right? Once you get out of the mentality and put in work, man, the fruits of your labor will pay off. A lot of times people don't want to put in that work.
You know, and it's difficult for people like you and I because we've been raised our whole life to embrace a culture of get it how you live and standing on your own. And when you start to shift and become someone, a better version of yourself, well, now you're being fake.
Yeah.
Well, you think you better than us. Like, I don't know if other coaches do that. Our culture is notorious for telling somebody they think they better because they said, I don't want to be a part of this shit. You know,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so then it's like an internal battle with, man, do I keep it real? Do I represent my people? Do I represent my hood? Do I represent where I come from? Or do I change it up and act fake? You're not acting fake. You're adapting to your circumstances and your environment while still remaining and keeping your integrity. Like, speak on that, man, because I know
Right.
when you ask a black man or a black woman or any person of color who has put on rank like you've put on this military, you're going to have half the people talk about how great of a person you are, and the other half going to call you a sellout. Other half gonna say all kinds of stuff about you. And it took for me to get older to realize that you have to do a lot of navigating. That's the word I'm gonna use because we here in the squadron. I want to keep it respectful.
Yeah.
And a lot of politicking and a lot of internal mentally changing to get to where you made it.
Yeah. Think about it, man. It all depends on the room you go into. Right? You have to be able to communicate in whatever room you go in. A lot of times we try to be one way. Right? It's not about being fake. It's about making sure that the message that I'm trying to deliver is received. Because there's something at the end of this that we're trying to get up out of there. And if I don't communicate effectively, if I go in their hood, right, trying to broker $1 million deal,
Talk on it.
it's not going to happen. You have to know your audience, and you have to be able to adjust to whatever setting that you're in order to get the things that you need.
Man, that's why he my brother. Listen, man, it bothers me. Like, and people get mad at me. They say I'm grinding an axe. But, like, when I see a person accomplish something real big, you know, let's say you got your PhD or you doing this, and it's like you'll see them with their PhD and then they got the gold teeth in their mouth. It's like, bro, you leave that. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to mix the two. We know what you came from. We can look at you and tell you what you came from because now. You sitting up here, you done worked all this time, this hard, and then people that I'm going to say it, that you carrying on your back, representing, proving, I'm still just like y'all, they wasn't even in the gym shooting with you.
Right.
And then people that in the rooms that you're trying to get into, they already set up a bunch of barriers to keep you out that room, so now you in that room and you're going to take that same mentality in there. Like, it just bothers me because I did it. I had to check myself on that ball. Like, it's not that I'm less of a man or fake or if I suppress some of these things, it's gonna always be in me.
Right.
But I gotta know my audience. I gotta know when I'm walking into $1 million conversation, I gotta leave that $5,000 tax refund, refund, mentality back in Pleasant Grove. You know
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Because how am I gonna help my people? How am I gonna take that $1 million and go back and create opportunities so that my people can be exposed to this type of life if I can't release it for a moment so that we can go get this bag or we can go get this opportunity, because the opportunity tends to be in rooms that we're not in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like a lot of our people don't understand that when it's happening. They understand it years later.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's what I've been trying to do.
And it's one of the things you mentioned, right? A lot of conversations are going to happen in rooms that we're not in. That's why credibility is important.
Man.
Right? The relationships and connections that you build over the years are important. You want people to say your names in rooms that you've never even been into.
Speak
right?
on it.
And if you build that credibility and that connection with different people, different that operate in different environments, that's where growth come in.
Adaptability.
A lot of times we like to do it on our own. Right? I can do this on my own.
Ain't never been in that room a day in your life.
Right.
Don't know how they operate. Don't know the rules of the game.
Yeah.
And you gonna go in there and do it on your own. And you go, man, come on, talk to me, man. Talk to me, bro.
Hey, man, there's a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? There is strength in numbers of getting into whatever field that you're trying to get into, right? Even in the military. I'm going to talk about this today. I'm all about collaboration.
Yes, you are.
All about collaboration. I was stationed in South Dakota, and hey, everybody can eat. This table's big enough for all of us, right? And it was a young lady that I was like, hey, let's collaborate. Let's work together. And she told me years later, she was like, hey, this individual there was like, hey, don't mess with him, right? He's all about himself and stuff like that. And fast forward a couple years down the road, me and that young lady, we ate together. Right, we had different paths. Right, her path is different than mine, but we was there to help each other grow. And the year we were in the same promotion group for rank. Right, I didn't let that deter me. Because what's meant for me.
Well, explain that. So we talking military jargon. He said they were in the same promotion group for ranks. So once you start getting into the senior ranks, it ain't just taking a test anymore. It's a selection, and they can only select so many people. So y'all catch what he's throwing here. He's saying that it doesn't matter if we're going on the same path. You ain't my competition. I'm not competing with you because we can all eat. And it's like I always preach that on this podcast, like, ain't none of y'all my competition. It ain't no person doing what I'm doing my competition because it's too much out there for us.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So we're going up for the same promotion, right? Different career fields, but same promotion. But you have to compete, right? I don't want to use compete because we're not competing, right? We're competing with ourselves.
You got to perform.
Yeah,
and what happens is you got to put the work in. And see, a lot of times we take performance and we make it a competition.
Yeah.
See, no. It's a performance. The best performance is going to win. Everyone's going to do the work, but it's just like if I'm getting my house redone.
Yeah.
And it's 4 contractors in my neighborhood, and they say, here, you can go look at my work. They all know how to build. They all know how to put a fence up. They all know how to paint. But I'm going to look for the person that did quality. And I'm going to pay a little bit more money for that quality, too.
Right. So me and this young lady, we work together, and they have like this board that they do where they assign a numerical rank to how the wing commander want to stratify you, right? That year, me and that young lady that I collaborated with, we both got a number. One of us got a 4, the other one got a 5. We were right back to each other. I'm pretty sure you couldn't tell a difference between our records or anything like that. And guess what ended up happening?
What was that?
We both got promoted that year.
Man, so I'm just trying to understand this. So you went into it saying I'm not going to compete with you. You went into it, said we both going to eat. You went into it knowing that only one of y'all could possibly get selected. But your thing was, I know my value anyway, so even if I don't get it this time, which I know I'm going to get it because I know you, you won't ever walk into a room thinking you're going to be second place. That's just who you are.
Yeah.
Y'all both ate, y'all both won, and y'all both got the number.
But guess what? If I didn't get promoted and she did, I won.
Right.
I won too. We're a team.
Yeah.
Right? When one eat, the other person eat as well. So even if I didn't get promoted that year, I knew the value of our work, right? I didn't do the things that I did just for promotion. I did the things that I did because I enjoyed doing them. Right?
You love your job, you never work a day in your life.
Right. So at the end of it, the things that I enjoyed doing, the work that I put in, if it got me promoted, cool. If it didn't, I still have the satisfaction that I took care of people. I went out and did things throughout the community that I wanted to do. So it's a win. There's no losing.
You know, that's deep because, when you think about impoverished, depressed communities, specifically the ones that look like ours, when I would walk into rooms and areas, I used to walk into a lot of rooms where I was the only one.
Yeah.
And then if there was another one who looked like me, man, ain't nobody walking around. They just didn't fuck with me like that because to them it was a competition. Whereas when I would walk into the room, it's like, I'm so happy to see you, right? And I'll never forget when I got into corporate, I worked at T-Mobile, and I've told this story a couple of times. Shout out to my old manager. He was one of them guys that said, I can't get promoted unless I promote you. I want you to take my job.
Right.
Because I know how bad I am. I know I'm that dude. And so if you just like me, and if you can do it better than me, I want you to have my job. Because if I can create 4 or 5 more Tims or me's, then that means I get to manage y'all. I get to scale up to that ladder. And for some reason, today's day and age, they make it seem like having a job is a bad thing. I made my money at a job. Most of my clients came from my job, right? Like, go get your job. But that was the first time in my career that I ever had a person who was in positions like that, who thought that way. And once you get around people like that, they start exposing you to more people like that. And then from there, my circle just grew with a bunch of people who thought like that. We can't win unless we all win it.
Right. Absolutely. Man, there's something that I want to talk about, but
Come on, do I need to close that door?
I can't put it up in the air, right?
Okay.
It's a chess move.
Yeah.
It's a chess move.
Well, you can't. You know what, man? You listen. I'm all about. I'm on my journey right now of being extremely loud about the dope stuff that I'm doing, because I was quiet, real quiet, and moving in silence. And my thing is, there's some things that I'm working on that y'all ain't gonna know about until it happen. I'm giving y'all what I need y'all to see right now so y'all can get behind it. But there's some stuff I'm working on that's gonna blow y'all mind. So I already know whatever it is, it's gonna be dope. But I want to transition a little bit, and I want to talk about, why it was so important for you to finish what you started. Because me and my wife, we always talk about my military experience. And for those who don't know, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but my military experience was short, okay? Very short-lived. It was just a couple of years, man. And I know that may sound kind of weird. I'll talk about it more in detail. I do have an honorable discharge. It didn't start off that way. All my life I had to fight, right? But, there was mistakes made on my part. There were some mistakes made on management's part, if you will. But all in all, everything was made whole. I got all my benefits. I served my country honorably. I served my country proudly. I'm able to come back on base. I've spoken at bases in Hawaii. I'm doing this right now in Alaska. I've been in bases in Texas. Like, I fool with the military, and I will always say that if you don't know what you want to do with your life, go to the military. But just go with an open mind, walk in that room, shut up. Don't feel like you got to run things. It don't matter who's your superior, just do your job, because that's the pecking order. But I want to talk to you about how important it is to finish, because, coming up here, my wife said, how do you feel that you didn't get a chance to finish? Do you think you would have retired from the military? Do you think you would have did this? And my goal when I came in was to retire, was to do my 20 years, get my pension, break a few toes and an arm and give me some disability. You know what I'm saying? And then give me a GS job so I can be getting 3 checks in one, right? Because this is the only career in the world where you can literally retire and receive a retirement check for $3,000 a month with full benefits, a disability check for $4,000+ a month. All your kids can go to college for free. Yeah. You can go to college for free. You don't pay property taxes if you own properties in certain states. Like, this is the only career that does that. Talk about why it was so important for you to finish what you started, bro. And I'm gonna say one last thing, because your mom and I were talking last night, and she was explaining why it was so important for her to come. She said, I didn't get to see any of my boys walk across the stage. She said, and it hurt me so bad as a mother. It made me feel like, I did something wrong, because my boys didn't get a chance to be celebrated, in those moments. She said, but coming up here to Alaska to see my baby retire is probably one of the best things that I can experience, because he's finishing what he started and we can all celebrate him. Yeah. Why is that so important to you to finish what you started? Don't start crying, because I told the mama story. You kind of
don't tell mama story, right? Man, a lot of people don't know this, man. I screwed around my senior year in high school.
Man, speak on it.
I screwed around, man. I wanted to party. I was into chasing girls.
Chasing that tail.
Yeah. Where I finished a little late.
Yeah.
I finished a little late. I had to go.
You had to walk in the summer, right?
I ain't walking the summer.
Yeah.
I ain't finishing until the December, because I had another class to do because I failed. Right.
Speak on it.
So I didn't get an opportunity to walk across the stage or anything like that. And it's funny. My oldest brother's like, man, bro, I wish I could make it to your graduation. I didn't even change it. I was like, right, because it's a retirement ceremony, not a graduation.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's graduating to another stage in life. And it's important, right, for me to finish this, because I didn't walk across the stage. I didn't get celebrated, right? And it's not saying that, hey, I need to be celebrated or anything like that. But it's cool to have family here, to experience
we deep.
this. Yeah, man. Y'all
we deep,
man. Y'all showed up.
Let me tell you something. It speaks to the character of the man or the woman when people show up for them.
Alaska.
We talking about in the coldest time of the year.
Yeah.
People hopped on that plane and they here. We deep.
Yeah.
We deep, bro. We deep.
Yeah. So, man, to finish up a career honorably where my children can witness it, right? My wife can witness it. And, I can't even tell a story about her, man. I messed up her career, right?
Speak on it.
She actually was in the Army. A lot of people don't know this.
I never knew your wife was in the Army.
Yeah, man. So,
which is funny. So me and Ball were roommates. I never met his wife. I met her for the first time yesterday. And I was like, in 22 years, this is my first time meeting you. But what you said she was? I never knew she was in the Army.
Yeah, she was in the Army, man. She was a week from completing AIT. Right, that's their definition of like their
tech school.
Yeah, tech school, technical training. She was a week from completing AIT.
And I bet you I know this. Ball shot up the club, huh?
Now, hey, shot it up. Shot it up.
For those who don't know, that means she got pregnant.
Yeah. So she ended up coming home for the holidays. I don't know how they come home for the holidays.
Yeah.
And they talk about the Air Force week.
Yeah.
But she came home for the holidays. I shot the club up. She went back, right? And they was doing drug tests. They was doing UAs for folks to make sure they didn't go home and do drugs.
Yeah.
She found out she was pregnant with my oldest daughter, Ariana.
Yeah.
Right. And because of that, she couldn't complete her final PT test because she was pregnant. So they put her out and told her she can come back and do AIT over again with just a weekend. She was like, no, not going to do it. Right.
You've never told me this story, bro. I never knew this about you, man. I just remember her being pregnant and you having a small baby. Because when we got to this base, we lived in the dorms, and so it was always a thing about getting out them dorms. So me and you got our number at the same time, and we went and got a nice little apartment, bro. I said, man, let's just be roommates. They giving us $800 a month. We can get a 2-bedroom apartment. We can split the money, stack it up. And so I think after I left, then she moved up here like shortly after I left, right? Yeah. So I never knew this story.
Yeah, and she wasn't able to finish AIT, to finish her career, right? Man. Family legacy. Her dad served, right? And all she wanted to do was serve. I screwed that up. Right? Then, she ended up moving up here to Alaska, like Tim mentioned, and she was like, I'm gonna go to nursing school. Guess what?
What you do, man? You shot the club up again?
Nah, I ain't shoot it up. That time. Uncle Sam was like, hey, you moving to Japan.
Yeah.
Right? I moved to Japan. She couldn't do her lab courses, so she couldn't even finish nursing school. Right? And I was over there 4 years.
You was, because you got it. So a lot of people don't know, when you have those remote bases, you got to stay 3-4. You got to stay a minimum of 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And then you can extend a year.
So, I messed up the nursing career. So, man, I've screwed up a lot of things.
On your road to
over
success.
The years, right? Yeah. Over the years. So, to be able to finish this and put my family on a path where we can be successful, like, for a long, long, long time, man, it's phenomenal.
Now, you know what, man? It's funny. I always tell people I've made more money through my mistakes than I've ever made through my successes. Because when you make the mistake, you understand how important it is to correct that mistake and to finish strong. And now that you're finishing, like, you are actually finishing your career, bro. Like, what is it? Like, it's a crazy number. Like, less than 3% of the people who enlist in the military actually retire. It's some crazy number like that.
Don't know the numbers, right? But a small percentage.
It's a small percentage
are retiring.
And by retiring, I mean doing their 20 years and getting out. It's like some, y'all fact check me in the comments. Let me know what that number is.
Yeah, and even more so today, there's even less people that are retiring, right? Because people know their worth. Mm-hmm. Right? They come here,
especially them IT folks. IT folks coming here, they do 4 years and move to DC and get a $250,000.
Yeah, man, these cats are coming in. They're knocking out this education because it's 100% tuition
reimbursement.
Right? 100%.
I got 3 degrees out of them.
These people are coming here, getting their education, getting these certifications, and they're going out spreading their wings, right? So it's kind of hard. You have to have that heart to serve,
That's a
Those
fact.
people that are doing 20 years have a heart to serve, and they're doing that time. But a lot of people coming in, taking advantage of the education, there's nothing wrong with that because less than 1% are serving.
Yeah.
Right? So if you come in to serve your country and you just so happen to get your education paid for, I'm cool with that. Right? Uncle Sam is going to get everything they can out of you.
And that's what they do. That's what and it's okay to say that, like, it's a system, bro. Yeah, I learned so much discipline through the military.
Yeah.
I learned consistency through the military. I learned how to foster good relationships. People ask me, how's my military career? What'd you love about it the most? I said the people. I still keep in touch with all y'all. You, Riddick, John. I still keep in touch with all y'all. Guppy, Aisha, Latoya. Latoya has come to everything I've done. She was at the documentary release. Bruchelle. I still keep in touch with y'all, bro, because those relationships, I gotta say, McCraw. McCraw, he gonna text me. You didn't say my name, you know, Tug. Oh, Tug. Tug, Hagwood. I still keep it Brown. Like, those relationships mean the world to us. And then I think about last night we were at your house. Like, your whole crew from when you were stationed in Mississippi is here tonight. Like, watching y'all just talk. I sat back and just watched y'all for like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, this dude whole crew is
last
here.
Man standing. I'm the last man standing, right? Because all of them have retired, right?
Yeah.
Started their second careers and stuff. And I didn't realize it until we was talking last night that I was the last.
You was the last man standing, man. You was the last man standing.
It's cool, man. It's cool to have him here.
So we're gonna make 2 more points and we're gonna wrap it up because it's getting almost time for the ceremony. If you could talk to a young man or woman that's like, hey, I'm thinking about joining the military, knowing what you know over a 22-year career, seeing what you saw, doing what you've done, being where you've been, what advice would you give them? Because people always call me like, hey, my son want to go into the military. And the first thing I say is, does he have discipline? Well, not really. I say, don't do it. Don't go in the military if you can't shut up and take a little, you know, if you can't shut up and be disciplined, don't go. Because the military is going to get you out of there. Yeah. It's today's military show going to get you out of there. They're going to fail you to adapt you so quick because there's such a great benefit of doing your honorable time. Yeah. Like, if you get that honorable paper, you can do so. I'm talking about the VA loans. I mean, just the VA loan itself is one of the best licks in the world. 100% financing. If you get the medical benefits, that's a good lick. If you have some form of disability, and disability, you know, we think of disability as like not being able to physically function. Disability can be anything. It can be mental. It can be physical. It could be nerve damage. It could be just stress. It can be anything. You get that, you're covered for the rest of your life. But there is a price that comes with that. Yeah. And if you're not mentally ready, I tell people don't do it. Now, if you mentally ready and you need some options, I say go tomorrow, right? What would you talk to a young man or young woman about if they said, Mr. Ball, because you're finna be Mr. Ball in a couple of months. Yeah. You're finna be Mr. Ball after the day. I want to join the military. What advice you got for me?
Hey, it was the best decision that I made, right? It provides you an opportunity to take care of yourself. Yeah. Take care of your family. Yeah. Right. They have this program, GI Bill program, right, where you can transfer it to your children. Right. I transferred my GI Bill to my oldest daughter. She about to graduate LSU next year. The LSU. Actually, this year. She graduated LSU this year. Yeah. Right. And didn't have to pay a dime out of pocket. Right. She getting her education from LSU, not a dime out of pocket. But that's not the only thing, man. You kind of mentioned discipline. If you don't have it, don't join. Right. I'll look at it another way. If you need discipline, join. I see what you did there. And I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Because it definitely taught me discipline. It taught me how to move, how to fall back. You know, until this day when me and my son be walking, I make him walk one step to the left and a step behind. You know, because I got the rank. And I explain that to my wife and my son because whenever we go places, I'm like, hey, get to my left and step behind me. I explain that to him. It's not because I'm trying to overpower you. It's just that I need to see the threat. Right. I need to be able to protect you. If we walking side by side,
they gonna pick us all off.
Yeah, I got to see.
I got to see what's going on. You need to cover my 6. You know what I'm saying? But you right about that, man. Like if you need discipline, if you need consistency, you need to join the military.
Yeah, and that's something I got, because I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but my parents didn't pop me in the mouth when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I said whatever I wanted to say.
Man, let me tell y'all, Ball says and said whatever he wanted to say.
All right?
Yeah.
So because of that, I struggled my first 5 years in the military.
Yeah.
Right? It took a little learning in order for me to grow.
And you know what, though, Ball? You were likable. Like, I think about myself, and we had the same problem. When we saw a problem, we spoke on it. I just would double down on being a nigga from Pleasant Grove. and you knew a little bit more than me. Okay, let me shut up. You know, I'll speak my piece a little bit later, but I'm gonna say what I got to say. Yeah. You politicked. I respect you so much because you politicked a lot better than me. And I learned how to politic after the fact.
Yeah.
But sitting back and just like not saying nothing and being able to observe will get you an extra 10 years in the military, because you just got to be strategic about it. You can voice your opinion. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if it's the military, if it's corporate, we all see problems. We all know a problem when we spot it, but it's how you articulate that problem. And I feel like you mastered that. I feel like you mastered the art of persuasion and negotiation, because you know how to lead people to a place where they need to be without beating them up on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to learn how to punch a person in the face and hug them at the same time. You got to be able to punch them and hug them.
I love you.
Right, but yeah, just to get back on that, like if you're trying to figure out what you want to do next and you don't have a plan, absolutely, military is a great opportunity. Number one, you're going to serve your country, right? And what we do to keep America free is one of the best things that we can ever do, because we can be ran over by other countries and stuff like that. So what we do is extremely important, and one, we need you. Right.
Yeah.
Military need you.
Oh, we definitely.
Good.
Them numbers is dwindling, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Just being straight up, like, I'm very concerned about. I mean, I know we lead the game in the technology. I know we can send them planes out there, and we can send them drones out there and take care of business. But man, I'm real concerned about some ground. I mean, I live in Texas, so everybody got that thing on them in Texas. But we need structure, and we need people that's willing to sign up and do this job, because you got to protect your country. We don't want to be overran.
Right. So great opportunity for you to serve, number one, and number two, if you don't have a way forward on what you want to be or what you want to do, military is a good opportunity. We have so many career paths that you can go down, and you can definitely learn a trade. Come here, get educated, and then you can go out and use that up into the civilian world.
We're going to wrap it up. I'm going to say this before we wrap it up. The military, when I take my wife and son on base, my wife is always amazed that she's like, this is a city within a city. It literally is a functioning city. There's a hospital. There's a fire department. There's a police department. There's a civil engineering area. You got pizza places, you got a mall in the base exchange, you got a grocery store. Like I guess she said, if something were to hit the fan, like, base is literally the safest place to be, because you don't have to leave. There's a bank. Every base has its own bank. Like, you literally don't have to leave base. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. And if I had to do all over again, I'd do it again.
And housing, everything. But check this out. This is how I always wrap my shows up. All right, you know the movie Back to the Future. My favorite one is Back to the Future 2, when he goes to the future and he go back to the future. When Biff goes back, he gets the almanac. He's in the 2020 to 2015. He goes back to the 1950s or 60s, gives himself a sports almanac and says, hey, dummy, I'm you from the future. This is all the scores to the sports game from now until 2000, whatever. Thank me later. This is going to help us. And then he goes back to the future, and he's a trillionaire. He's just this evil trillionaire that has won every bet in the world. But he was bad, so they had to undo it by going back to the future and changing it. But if if Charles Ball, 40-something-year-old Charles Ball could go back to 18-year-old Ball, you walking down the hall, you kicking it, you chilling, and then you walk up on this person that looked familiar, and it's you from the future. What would you say to Charles back then about life and what you know? Like, what advice would you give that Charles to cement your legacy in the future?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, right? Everything happens in life for a reason, right? There was a lot of adversity that I faced over the years. Yeah. And like I said, I got in my way most of the time. It was me. If I can go back and talk to young me, I'll focus on the things that was important, right? Knocking out education early on, right? Because once you start to climb the ranks, you're no longer just responsible for you. You have other airmen that you're responsible for. And airmen take up some of your time a lot of times, right? Especially when you have airmen like us.
Say, man, right? every one of my supervisors gonna watch this, but I was that troop that airman that they always gave to the new staff sergeant. And everyone who had me got a Jackson story. Man, I felt like I was you know how you get on your pledge of fraternity, you had to be online in theory, because we don't pledge at our fraternity. We follow the rules. But when you hear them old stories, I feel like I was the NCO pledger.
Yeah, and I'll knock out that education early on, and I got a mentor, man. I didn't get a mentor until I was 10 years in the game. And I realized that I wasn't fully an airman my first 10 years, right? Because it was like, I'm going to go to work, do my job, and I'm going to take my behind home. I didn't know what it meant to be an airman until 10 years in.
That's crazy.
I would learn how to be an airman, right?
And that's the lowest rank.
Yeah, lowest rank, right? Learn how to be an airman and be bought into the institution. Right?
You speaking facts, man.
I was bought into myself. It was all about me, right? I wasn't really bought into the institution. I would have learned the game a lot earlier, where I could have some of that adversity I faced, I wouldn't have if I knew the things that I needed to do to be an airman, right? So if I had to go back, I would have been bought into the institution a lot earlier, right? And I would have knocked out my education early before I started dealing with airmen that was like me.
Any regrets?
No regrets. It all happened for a reason.
You do it all over again?
Do it all over again.
That's what's up, man. That's what's
all
up.
Over again.
Well, listen, brother, I got to tell you, man, I'm proud of you, man. I had to put the shades on because I'll be shady on this podcast, but I also didn't want to start crying because I'm messing around. I know I'm probably cry today at your event, but, man, I want to tell you I'm proud of you, bro. Yeah. Like, we've got to see each other evolve.
Right.
When we was airman first class and running around this base, 19 years old with brand new cars, I'm going to put it on the record. Ain't nobody going to ever do it like we did it at Elmendorf between 2001 and 2003. We had Elmendorf on lock, sold up. Argue with your mama. We had it on lock. We had the nicest cars. You didn't have no, you was at staying at home because you had a girl at home. I was in them streets. Aon Jackson was picking them off at the gate.
Jackson.
They didn't call me Action Jackson for nothing. Bro, we did it, man. And we made a lot of mistakes, but man, did we evolve.
Yeah.
We was 19 years old, 20 years old, doing stuff that 40-year-old tech master sergeant, senior master sergeant wasn't doing because we were there mentally. We knew about money. Me and you, it was something about me and you, man. We understood money at a young age. We understood credit at a young age. Your mom told me a story about how you bought your Montero Sport when you was in high school, bro. You was working, getting the money then. I was doing the same thing, so we understood the foundation of the, finances and stuff. But I look at your evolution, bro. Like how you became it's like at every stop you became a better man. At every stop you became a better father. Every stop you became a better husband. Every stop you became a better supervisor. And that's what it's about. It's about evolving and leaving that legacy. So when we all get ready to go home, like what are people gonna say on your day? Are they gonna be like, he owed me $22? Or are they gonna be like, this dude changed my life? And I would like to think, specifically today when we get in there, it's gonna be he changed my life. Because being around you, being around your mother when I was going through my stuff and your mom, came to visit us and your mom used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Laying hands and spraying oil.
Listen, man, let me tell y'all, I was going through it, man. Charles' mama stayed with us. She came and visited Alaska. Man, she used to get up 4 o'clock in the morning and pray. I'm talking about some of the strongest. I don't care how you feel about God or religion. I'm speaking on me. You don't care how you feel. Them prayers they still resonate with me today. I mean, she was saying some stuff. You could feel it in her soul that she was protecting us, she was covering us, and you know we saw
needed it.
Shit,
Bruh.
shit.
We needed it. We was in the streets.
They say the Lord watch over babies and fools, and
yeah.
we ain't no babies.
We was some damn fools.
We was some GD fools. I know I was. And I'll never forget one day laying up in the room and your mom was next door because me and him worked different. We worked the same shift but different days. Right. So, you know, 2332, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Ball got up and went to work. And I just heard this woman in there. I remember the first night I heard this woman in there screaming, crying. I said, what's going on? I went and got the AK. I went and got the chopper. And it was your mom in there praying. And I just listened to what she was saying. And you talking about covering somebody?
Yeah.
And I was going through it, bro. I wouldn't even pray for myself at the time. Yeah. And so them prayers got me through until this day. And I know thinking about growing up, you would hear people saying, your grandmama prayed for you, your mama prayed for you. That was some real stuff. Regardless of how you feel about religion, I don't care what y'all think, man. This ain't for you. This is for the person that needs it. Them prayers, those meditation, that fasting, that works. When you speak in accordance and you believe and you walk in your faith, believe whatever it is, that works. Yeah. And I know for a fact because I'm sitting here today in a place where I was told I would never be able to come back to.
That you was not gonna be shit.
I was told on my way out, you ain't gonna be shit. You gonna be dead. You gonna be in prison. Yeah. You ain't gonna be shit. And you know the fact of the matter is, a lot of our homeboys that got out too, that was their road. I didn't accept that road. Right. I said, nah, that ain't gonna be me. I got something for y'all ass, and I've been shining on their ass ever since and building. But the thing is, you have too. Every milestone that you've accomplished, somebody said you couldn't do it, and you said, hold this real quick. Let me show you what I can do. Right. So, man, I want to tell you face to face, I'm proud of you, bro, and I cannot wait to see what Mr. Ball is about to do, man, because I know you finna have your foot on them boys' neck. Congratulations to you, man. You have a beautiful family. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see where you going, man. So any shout outs you want to give before we wrap it up? Man,
I appreciate all the support that I've gotten over the years from everyone. Right. I don't want to sit here and say names or anything like that because I don't want to miss anyone, but all the support and love that I've got over the years and all of the words of encouragement. Dude, man, I appreciate that.
Definitely, man. Well, listen up, you guys. This is your man, Tim Jackson. It's the No More OGs podcast. Like, follow, subscribe. Be sure to download and go to Amazon Prime right now and go check out the documentary, Tim Jackson Presents How to Kill a Black Man. As always, get the book Real Dope, an in-depth comparison between real estate and the dope game. You guys, I'm giving you options. I'm giving you solutions. I'm not giving you a way out to make excuses. I don't make a single penny off this. This book finances real youth mentoring. All of our boys graduate with a 700+ credit score business plan. If they go to community college or trade school, we pay for it. Man, we done took them on trips. We don't help people whose houses done burned down. We do so much stuff behind the scenes, man. It's just crazy. So get the book. This is my ministry. This is my tithe. This is what I gave back to my people. So y'all make sure y'all support that so we can create a better future for people who are just like us, who just don't know the way. All right. Well, it's your man, Tim Jackson. It's No More OGs podcast. I'll see you soon. Signing out from Anchorage, Alaska, the original A-Town, 907. Stand up. Let's get it. We out. Peace.